spring has definitely sprung here in Oregon. And plants are growing, and it's getting me so excited for my perennial dye plants to come back so we can do some natural dyeing. But of course, they're not ready to dye with yet. Okay, so we've got the dyer's chamomile. They're starting to set flowers. But obviously it's going to be a while before we can actually dye with them. We've got our weld that'll be ready to use later on in the summer. I didn't end up harvesting that last year. But I'm excited to dye with the weld. Madder is growing really nicely. It is 3 years old this year, so I might dig some this year. So this is my only madder patch. I don't have any more seed to grow new ones, but supposedly you can grow it from cuttings, which I have never tried. I'm a very mediocre gardener. I probably should give it a try so I can get some growing in another patch. I was just checking on Jenny Dean's blog, so I'm like, when do harvest matter? And she said, oh, some people think that it's better when it's like 5 years old or older. So I guess we'll have to see how impatient I am to try the madder. Definitely need to get some more going in another patch, so you're gonna have, rotating patches to gather from. Oh, and Jenny Dean's blog also said that, she said that some people think it's good to harvest the madder in August, and some people say winter. So I guess either way, it's sometime before August or winter, so I can decide later. Joe Pye is growing, but no flowers yet, because it's mostly the flowers that you use on that. Lucky for my impatient self, there are other plants that we can play around with to get color until the chamomile and Joe Pye weed flower in the summer. So while Murphy and I have been going on our walks, I've been keeping an eye out for any invasive plants that might give us color. And I also have ones around the house. There's also plants in my yard that need trimming back or digging out because they're also invasive and not ones I want around. Anyways, so some of those should also give us some color, so I can combine the weeding and cleaning up of things with some dye experiments. So this will be fun to see what kind of colors we get. I'm sure most of them will be somewhere in the yellow range, because that seems, that's usually the easiest colors to get, right? And also, I'm probably only going to be using alum to ornament my fiber. Probably, I say probably, as in alum is the only mordant I have. And I keep forgetting to make up some iron water to try color shifting. I need to go dig around for a piece of copper pipe that I could use. I don't know if I want to make copper water, blue vitriol, right? That's what they call it. Because I just don't know about safe disposal of that. But I have been thinking of if I find an old chunk of copper pipe to throw it into the dye pot, so you at least get some color transfer that way. I'll have to see if I get around to trying that out. And I certainly don't have an old copper pot to use to dye with. No, I don't have one of those. Here behind me is a patch of purple deadnettle. It's an invasive plant in the mint family, and the past couple of springs I've kept meaning to pick it to try dyeing with it, and then life got away from me and I haven't done it. So we'll go ahead and pick some of this patch here, and we're going to collect some on our walk with Murphy, because there are some big patches along one of the ways that we usually go walking. Murphy and I are on our walk. Yeah, that's you. Oh, yes, I said your name. And I've been meaning to stop and gather some of these purple deadnettle. And along here is a whole bunch more, and down this section. I don't know if Murph has the patience to let me gather more. Should we try it, Murph? Can I gather some more? Okay, so here is what I collected on my walk with Murphy. So almost a full shopping bag. So I weighed what we had picked, and it is about 8 ounces. And now I'm gonna go pick the rest of the dead nettle that is along our property, and we'll add it to that. I moored into some wool and alum that's in like 4-ounce chunks. So since we've already got 8 ounces here, we'll just add that, and hopefully maybe that'll be enough to see if this actually gives us color. If we're already double the weight, and hopefully adding extra will give us a better chance of actually getting some color. Cleared up a good patch of all the dead nettle, and I resist the urge to completely weed everything and take way too much time. And I filled up my bag most of the way, so we'll go weigh this. Let's turn on our scale. No, don't run out of batteries. Come on, you can do it. Please, one more weigh. No! Okay, fine. My scale's out of batteries. Fine, we're just gonna go with however much this is. Foiled by the scale. Okay, I haphazardly washed off the plants, stuck them in the pot, and we'll make some dead nettle soup. Cook while I go do other things. This is our fully cooked purple dead nettle soup. So I guess I'm gonna drain it. And then we'll toss some wool in here, huh? Drain it, strain it. We need to take all these plants out so then we have room for our wool. But we're making an impromptu stop for some dye stuff. We've got some dock. Probably broadleaf dock. Dock should definitely give us something nice, I'm pretty sure. So we're gonna grab some of this. So here's what we got after I simmered it for maybe an hour yesterday. Left it to sit overnight and simmered it again this morning. Really not an impressive color. Even though I had a lot, you know, and I maybe should have cooked the dye stuff longer. I guess moral of the story is, if it's going to take that much effort to get only this much, not worth it. This is a big bag of dock leaves I managed to get this morning on my walk with Murphy. I'm going to grab my other pot so we can cook some more dye stuff and see what we get with this, with the spring dock leaves. Apparently these are also edible, but they were from the side of the road, so I wouldn't trust eating them, but I managed to snag them before they got mowed down again, so. Let's see if we can weigh our dock leaves. Okay, on. You turned on this time, hooray, okay. Let's see how much does a bag of dock leaves weigh? Okay, and I was reading, I have like I have 3 different dye books, although one is just like mainly focused on flowers. Anyway, so I have Jenny Dean's Wild Color and another one that talks about like lichens and plants. They both said that you're probably going to get like a yellow from the springtime, early summer leaves. And I forget how much weight of dye stuff per weight of dye stuff per fiber that they recommend. But, oh yeah, we've got, let's see, we've got close to a pound already. Yeah. We have to do these in batches because you're not going to fit in my pot. That's... Yeah, we've got like a pound of dock leaves. Which if we do a 4-ounce batch, it's like a 4-to-1 ratio. Okay, well, I'll try and, I probably will do about, well, here, let's put half back. And maybe we'll do a, yeah. Maybe we'll cook half in the pot first, take out those leaves, and then add the other half. See if we can get a nice strong dye bath. That sounds like a thing to try. Okay, well, that's about half. We've also got this volunteer privet in our yard, which supposedly, I guess it does have berries. Supposedly the berries you can get a dye stuff from. But I don't know, I don't think it's very color fast. Berry dye stuff is usually not color fast. And they're so small that I don't think I have the patience to try to collect them all for something that's not gonna give much of a, you know, that won't be color fast, or that will fade to a gray. Because I can always just get gray sheep. Anyways, I'm gonna trim a bunch back and we'll collect the leaves. I mean, they're still pretty small, but whatever. I should trim it back because invasive. Yeah. So we'll collect the leaves and we can throw those in the crock pot and we shall see if anything comes of that. We are straining the privet leaves. Ooh. Definitely color in the water, so I guess we shall see if that translates to color. Color on the wool? Yeah. Alright, seeing as how we had bad luck with the effectiveness of the purple Deadnettle dye, and the fact that my kitchen scale was not working, I don't know what the exact weight of the privet leaves. I'll try and separate this wool into about half, so maybe we'll do about 2 ounces. See if we, yes, shall try that and see what kind of result we get. Okay, here we go with approximately 2 ounces of alum mordant wool into our privet dye bath. And leave this to cook in our slow cooker for a couple hours, and then I'll probably just leave it soaking overnight. And I guess we'll check on it in the morning and see what happens. Now we need to strain the dock. Our dock leaves all draining. It definitely looks like a pot of overboiled chard or something along those lines. Which, you know, hey, given that they are edible greens. Nom nom nom. No, don't eat these. These were in a dye pot. Also got some nice color. Only a lighter color than the privet. Go ahead and put the other half. So this is approximately other 2 ounces of the alum mordant floof in here. And we'll get this cooking. So I'll just, yeah, bring this to a simmer, and I'll probably leave it to sit overnight since it's like 7 in the evening. I'm not going to do anything with it till it cools down, so off to the stove we go. Here is the results from the privet leaves. It turned out to be kind of a really soft, orangey brown. Yeah, so the book, Craft of the Dyer, I think is it Karen Castleman? Yes. So in the book, she says fresh privet leaves with an alum mordant, like what I did here, should give us some kind of yellow, soft, bright yellow. I don't know, I just read it and I forget, but my book is in the house, so yellow. Obviously, this is not yellow. I definitely, yes, we picked the leaves. I mean, they did have some of the new growth stems, so I don't know if that is affecting it. I didn't leave in any of the old stems, but some of the still green new growth stems were in there, so maybe that's why it's not as, so technically not only the leaves, so maybe there were slight tannins in there. I don't know. Anyways, it's a cool color. And this is what the dock turned out to be. I definitely overheated it both when I was making the dye from the leaves and when the wool was in there, so hopefully I'll be able to get this apart. It's because this one I did on the stovetop, because I only have one slow cooker. And I wasn't watching it as close as I should have to make sure the temperature stayed, below getting too hot. But, yeah, so it's kind of a light yellowy beige color. And I forget now what it said the color was supposed to be. But, yeah. Not, like, amazing, but not terrible. Definitely got more color on it than the Deadnettle. And, of course, I used half as much wool, so. This is the trio of wools that I dyed this week. I always love it, though, how nice the natural dyed wools, like, how they go together. Their tones, shades, tones, colors. I don't know, color theory words. Okay, if you enjoyed seeing the results of these weeds, if you enjoyed seeing the dye results from these weeds, just wait. I've got some more. I got a whole nother bag full, so there'll probably be another video or two. So we've got more things coming, more things in the pipeline, sitting on my computer waiting for me to edit them all together into a video and post it pipeline. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit that button so you can, get a notification when I finally get around to doing that. Love to hear your comments, and, don't forget to hit that little like button too. All the 3 things, right? And what else is there to say? I don't know. Bye. See you next time. Tell your friends. Come again.